Hello and welcome. This is It's Always About Love, and I'm Lee Evans. I'm here with psychotherapist Lynne Lara. Lynne has been in private practice for many years, and today she brings all of that experience and wisdom to help you. We are here to answer your relationship questions. It's our desire to help you and make what you learn from this podcast usable in your life right now. Do you have something bothering you? A question, a concern, or a comment? Email us at its always about love, the number one, at gmail.com. Now, let's get started. Are you there, Lynne? Well, I don't hear anything, so it looks like Lynne's not with us. We've been having audio problems, and we recorded earlier, and we thought for sure that it had uploaded, but we found out no, it had not. So this is my attempt to put something out for today to let you know what's going on, and I guess we've lost contact with Lynne. So I just want to say we just thank all our listeners all over. We thank you all for listening. Lynne is so concerned about the ones that write in, and we did receive an email, but I know that she really wants to answer it herself, so I won't even attempt to begin that. But I did want to mention that we have been talking about the three ego states, and it's new information to me. I just never have really done any thinking or investigating in it, and so I have learned this in working with Lynne, the three ego states, and the first one is inner child. And I've heard her make mention, and maybe some of you have too that have been listening, that an example of inner child or child ego state can be found in our president. She says that he does operate in his inner child or the child ego state. So that's kind of an example in that. And so the next one is the parent ego state. And in one of our recent shows, when I was asking Lynne about famous people, movie stars and political people that are important, I asked her about Hillary Clinton, and she told us on the program that Hillary Clinton operates in her parent ego state. Now, I found that very interesting because I watch television, so I see how she does, how she talks, how she reacts, and yes, she does appear to be in her parent ego state. Well, I asked Lynne, give me an example of someone that operates in the adult ego state. And this was off air. We weren't recording at the time. And she had to think about it. And she said, well, you give me a name. So she's asking me to give her a name. And I'm like, really, I don't know. And so she was thinking, and she said, well, maybe George Bush Sr. But then she said, I'm really going to have to think about this. So, that's something to think about. We have three ego states. But when it came to political celebrities and movie stars, which we consider celebrities, we were unable to find someone that we felt, or that she felt, was operating in the adult ego state. For an example. So, anyway, I just think that's interesting. But I know that we had a program where we had a lady write in to us, a young lady, and she was in a relationship with a man that was not available to her. And Lynne indicated that he was very much appearing to be not emotionally available, but she was still struggling to be in the relationship. So she asked on the program, what is it, or why is it that you are attracted to this type of person? So she's asking the lady, or the young lady that wrote the email, what attracts you to these type of people? And she said, I think it has something to do with your inner child. Well, in the program, she begins to talk about the inner child, and she's trying to give a description of something that, from her experience working in psychotherapy. So she talks about her office that she worked in. She had an office, but there was a lady that was like a receptionist there. And she said she was the most beautiful lady, tall, very personable. But when she talked like a child. And Lynne tried to give us an example of how she talked. And then she said in her dress, she dressed more childlike. And when she would stand up, she would point her toes together when she stood. And she said she was a lovely person, but Lynne always wondered why this lady that worked in the office, this receptionist, was stuck in her child or inner child ego state. And so Lynn always wondered, but then it became apparent to her because the woman came to ask Lynne for help. And then the truth came out that she had been abused as a child. And Lynne then helped this woman become the woman she should be. And she said the most beautiful thing is that this lady then needed, after treatment, to go buy new clothes, which was an indication that she had healed. And she said it was a wonderful thing to see. Well, when she was talking about this woman, when she had started her treatment, she had given her, I call it a script of things to say to herself. And I'm going to just paraphrase it because I do not remember it specifically. But she said, for her, the woman, to tell her inner child, I care about you. What happened to you was wrong. It wasn't right. But I love you, and I am here to take care of you now. And she said this was something that this woman was to tell her inner child every day. And she did become healed. She healed her inner child with the help and Lynne's guidance. So I came across something because I feel that we all can do that. All of us have had traumas in our childhood. We've been children that have been molested, harmed emotionally, physically. We've been beat up, not only by our peers, but by others. Just like Lynne was talking about the prisoners in Soledad prison, working with their inner child, and how they said, my dad never did that with me. And they're talking from their inner child. Or they were beat up on the playground and they never were allowed to play. A lot of us have suffered in those ways. So a lot of us can benefit from helping or talking to our inner child. And I found some phrases that I think if we do this as homework, we also will benefit. And they are, I love you. I respect you. I think that might be a rough thing to say to a child. They might not quite understand that, but It's still good. I love you. I respect you. You are perfect just as you are right now. You are valuable. You are important to me. You are as worthy as any human being on the face of this earth. I appreciate you more and more every day. And if we do that daily, showing ourselves, our inner child, these statements, which are loving statements towards ourselves, we will be healed, just like the receptionist in Lynne's office. So that's what I want to leave with you today. We love our listeners, just like I said. We will be back tomorrow, Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. We care about you. And remember, until tomorrow, it's always about love. Good night, everyone.